Welcome back, everybody. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Aaron.
This is our show, Crypto Cosm, where I talk about the astrological forecasts.
And I bring you, once again, your daily crypto news.
What do you got?
China. Let's talk China. Let's talk China. For so long, all we've been hearing is no Bitcoin, no way, no deals. Let's build a wall. Let's build a firewall.
Yeah, build a wall. Yeah, we've heard build a wall too much. Yeah.
Too much. That's everybody's solution to everything.
Build a wall. We're going to isolate ourselves out. We're going to say no and stop the bad man. We're going to stop the bad money, the bad Bitcoin.
Unfortunately.
Except ain't going to happen.
Bitcoin takes a plane, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's wall-proof.
They dig underneath.
And that's exactly what we're starting to see. Now, the governor of the central banks of China, I'm not going to try and pronounce his name because I'm just going to butcher the living daylights out of it. My Mandarin doesn't really go very far at all. But it really has come out and said Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is inevitable. We can't
There's no stopping it.
We can't stop it.
It's like the cleaners from the labyrinth, that giant, wheel. It's just like, yeah, just get out of the way because it's not going to happen. Stop.
So thank you for finally coming to your senses. It's about time. It's about time. So they say rules and regulations are going to take some time, and they're researching the technology and trying to still wrap their heads around it and figure out what it's all about and how they're going to proceed. But I can't wait till all of those individuals start really pouring into the market, because that's going to be huge.
It's going to be huge.
Huge.
I mean, and they love like the pachinko in China. In China, is it pachinko? The little, it's like the little game. I can only imagine. Anyway, it's going to be huge. Cryptocurrency is going to be huge in China.
It's going to, and it still is. You see the reports of individuals that have to go outside of the norm and use the decentralized exchanges and things like that. And so there's some of those people already there. But really, to make it mainstream, I think is going to be, we're going to see a bump when that comes around.
Huge.
We're going to see a bump.
We're still at what, just over 3%?
Oh, we haven't even begun. This party hasn't even started yet. I was watching an email that they showed on YouTube from 1984 about an individual showing people how to send an email. And it was so freaking complex. Well, at the time, you'd be like, well, why in God's name would I ever want to do something as ridiculous as that? And now, look at us.
It's on our phone.
When's the last time you wrote a letter? It's going to be the same way as putting those dollars in your pocket, I think. I mean, but it's got to become as easy as it is to write an email nowadays.
Right.
And
it's not yet. It's super still complicated.
Yeah,
it is really complicated.
It's come a long way so far from the Stone Age where we were 5-6 years ago.
5 or 6 years ago was the crypto Stone Age. I love it.
Crypto Stone Age.
Oh, those days.
So until we get those strides, we got to keep working with what we have, and we're going to help push that movement forward as much as we can. Absolutely. So I read through this article, and I got to say, man, thieves, they really got to have their stuff together. They just think in such extraordinary ways. I thought this was pure genius, hackers. I mean, good job on one aspect. On the other hand, you suck because you're trying to steal from people.
But you have to be so smart to do it, which is crazy. It's just like
you do.
But that's one of these things too. Let's talk about that for a quick second. It's just like an honest job these days doesn't pay enough money, so it pays more to do it unhonestly. That says something in and of itself of the world we live in. All right,
it pays great if you can get away with it, and so. Microsoft has prevented over 400,000 cases of malicious mining software. So what does that mean exactly? Well, Grandma Moses comes along and turns on her computer and opens up this email and clicks the link, which she doesn't know where it came from, and all of a sudden a little window pops up and goes, do you want to do this? And she just goes, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. Well, instantaneously, her machine is transformed into a mining machine for Bitcoin, for Ethereum, for whatever else. And now all of her resources on her computer are 100% devoted to whatever Bitcoin mining pool these hackers have set up. And these machines are constantly churning out processing power.
And it goes to them.
and it goes to them.
Not to grandma.
How genius is that? I know, it's horrible, but wow, I was blown away. And I was one of those people. I got about
It happened to you?
3 or 4 weeks ago. This is not quite. Not quite. Once I got that blue screen of death that I couldn't click over because all these ads were popping up all over the place, I shut down my computer within probably 15 seconds. Because this is just after I set up my Cardano wallet to officially transfer my funds over to my proprietary wallet. I didn't want to leave them on the exchange. So 15 seconds later, shut it down. Didn't think twice about it, rebooted it, put my Windows CD in there, and formatted it. I didn't give it the time of day. I have too much going on my PC. You guys, you got to take it seriously. I mean, it's not a small deal. You have to protect yourself. Keep your antivirus up to date because it was something as simple as Windows Defender. So,
and that's another thing too, to keep stuff off of your C drive, so that if this happens, just format it. Be done with it. Wipe it clean.
Well, even if it's, so I have a secondary hard drive.
Okay.
And that's where I store most of my safe stuff and things like that, and it's backed up on several hard drives. But if they install some sort of keylogger and you're putting in any type of password or seed phrase or anything like that, it's picking up this information and it's sending it out to God knows where. You don't know. You can't take any chances. If you have one breach, shut it down, take the 3 days, reboot just reset it all, just kill it all, start fresh. You've already backed up your seed phrases because we've told you to like
every episode, yeah.
Every other episode at least. So you have what you do. Don't waste any time. None whatsoever. Kill it. Right then and there. There's no excuses for anybody losing any money. You guys are smarter than that. Absolutely. So take the time. It's worth it. Keep your stuff safe. You never know.
And help your grandma too.
And help your grandma Moses. God bless you.
Oh, Grandma Moses.
So we talked about the Binance hack a little while ago.
The little 2 dots.
And I'll tell you what, as far as my rankings are now with coin exchanges, Binance is now my #1 favorite. Because
they're awesome.
They came out and although they didn't mention the hack, and it wasn't even necessarily
it wasn't a hack. Yeah, it was just
this software. But this is the thing that gets me is even though it wasn't because of their systems were faulty, it was because individuals weren't really paying attention and they didn't have the know-how, this and that, they still reversed all the irregular trading. All of it. So if you were some of those individuals that were like, well, I logged into my account and all my stuff was gone, it's okay. They reimbursed every single person.
Oh yeah, Binance. I also lost about 150 Bitcoins in that.
As long as you got the trade logs to prove it, I'm sure they'd have no problem taking care of you. But you know what? It wasn't their fault.
And they still went the extra. Out.
It's probably because they make $1 bajillion per hour on trading. But you know what?
But that says a lot about the integrity of the company.
It does. I was blown away. I was like, that's not very American. Oh, wait, they're not. But so Binance, 2 thumbs up.
4.
Keep it rocking. We love you. Keep on doing the great job that you guys are doing. And not a paid sponsored ad, nothing like that.
We just like you.
Just from the heart. That's what we need in the crypto community. That's awesome. Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, I love it.
Another thing on the exchanges, Pantos.
Pantos.
Pantalones. Pantos Exchange is an exchange built for arbitrage trading. Now, I know you had brung this up a while back, and it was actually something that I thought I was so smart about and saw some of these prices. You're like, well, Bitcoin is $17,000 over here, but over here it's $19,000. So if I get it from this exchange and go over here and sell it on this exchange, well, that's a big thing, and it's happening through a lot of these spikes, depending on where the majority of the population is and who's making these trades, how many orders, the volume. All of these things come into consideration. So, and it was a big enough deal for somebody to come along and say, I think there's money to be made. Yeah, so they're going to be able to take advantage, and that means they're going to be able to peer into all the different prices on different exchanges at the same time and allow users to profit from that. And it's good for the market too. It's going to level out the market for those that are interested in that type of arbitrage trading. It's going to increase the liquidity because this trading exchange is going to be kind of built on the onset in the outside surrounding areas of all these other exchanges and making trades between them, which is fantastic. And another great idea in the world of crypto that we're seeing these new spaces and new applications popping up.
And that's great. You know, these are some of the regulations that we absolutely need, again, for the stability and the structure of this to be more trustworthy. Because again, it was when it's like, wait a minute, over here it's this, and over here it's $250 cheaper. That's a no-brainer. $250 cheaper. That, I mean, it's like, well, I'm gonna buy through this.
And there's a huge market for that. I mean, I've seen it just in probably the past 6 months, 3 or 4 different times. And I mean, we're talking $1,000, $2,000 differences, mainly for Bitcoin. I mean, it's been...
That's even larger than
there's major money
seen.
To be made.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, another 2 thumbs up for Pantos. I'm excited to see what that's going to look like rolling out, whether or not they're probably going to have their own coin because it is an exchange. A lot of the exchanges are now doing that, and it's kind of exciting to see.
That is pretty cool.
Absolutely. So, my friend, tell me, it's been a few days.
Well, the Mercury square Saturn,
on?
right, we had all felt that. You know, Mercury is our trader of goods. It's the information and trading of the information. And as soon as it went into Aries, okay, Aries again is self. Now, there's been a lot of talk about, was it Mount Gox? Mount Gox, and pulling out 40,000 Bitcoin, I believe is what it was, 40,000?
I think it totaled to $400 million worth of Bitcoin or so.
Now, Aries is self. It's me, mine, right? And Mercury and Venus both moved in there on the same day. The trader of goods and possessions, money, love, wants and desires, all of these things, what's what Venus represents. So it's just like, this is mine. It's mine. I'm taking mine out, okay? It's mine, 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 mine. We're not talking about Libra, other people. We're not talking about Scorpio, other people. Or even Capricorn, which is money and the government's kind of money, the overall big view. We're talking about Aries. This is my money and I want it now. I want it my way. It's like, can you blame him?
No.
No.
Well, the guy's got $2.3 billion more in his back pocket.
And he can pull that out anytime he wants. Which is frightening for people that are, again, of course, the bought in at the $20,000 or even at $10,000, hoping it's going to hit that 20 again.
Yeah.
Which it will. But, it's like, this is part of that, ebb and flow. Yeah, absolutely. And Saturn being in Capricorn is like, we want to stabilize this kind of thing. We want to stabilize this to where somebody isn't just going to say, okay, I want mine in fiat now. I want it in cold, hard dollar bills.
Make it rain.
Right. And yeah, he's like Scrooge McDuck over here. I'll take it in pennies. I want my 40,000 Bitcoin cash in pennies so I can have my Scrooge McDuck vault, and I'm going to dive into it and swim around and spit them out of my mouth and make little fountains. My grandkids can play in them. It's going to be great. We're going to wash every penny first. But, I can't blame the guy for doing it, and I don't blame everybody else. I've seen a lot of anger. A lot of anger on some of these forums, and, well, I hate this company because I lost money. It's like, you're blaming a company that you invested in?
I'm going to pull a Dr. Phil, and he says, whenever you're sitting there pointing at somebody else, you got 3 fingers pointed back towards you.
Right, and I did. I'm a Capricorn. I give a little tough love every now and then. I try to keep it on the level, but it's like, one of these folks, I'm like, dude, don't be mad at this company who's got a brilliant coin. They've got a brilliant marketing team. The market dipped, which, we've kind of talked about a lot of the dips and spikes coming up, and it happened. But nonetheless, like, don't be mad at them. They didn't hold the gun. Aaron, if you don't buy this coin right now, it's like that's. that's not how it works.
He did it.
We make these decisions. We are the ones that are responsible for making these decisions and for investing or to not invest. And it's us that, it's ourselves. It's like, don't blame anybody else. Look in the mirror. It's like
Take
that.
responsibility.
Right. Like your Dr. Phil thing, I love it. But it's just like, anytime you have a problem with somebody or something, write down all the things, say you this, you this, you this, you this, and then look at it. And then cross off you every single time, and then write I next to it. And then you say, oh, it was me. Okay, and that's another part of this right now. With the Jupiter now is retrograde as to the 9th. All right, and Venus is now squaring today on the 13th. Venus is squaring perfectly to Saturn, and it's just like this kind of cold hard love is like, well, one is, why do I love this? Did I love it because I wanted to get rich off of it, and I did or I did not, and now my love for this thing has diminished or wilted like a flower because I didn't get rich? It's like, well, no, then you didn't love it. It was a condition, and just like, so it's like this test here of, this Saturnian test that we're dealing with.
More tests.
Right, and that's going to be, Saturn's going to be there for another 2 years and change, okay? It's going to be testing everything, and everything is moving through the zodiac feeling this. The only one that's kind of getting away scot-free is Neptune over there in Pisces, which is our dreamy planet, of out there expansion, and that's hitting in a very favorable aspect to these. So it's just like, well, our dreams of this new world order are going to become structuralized and transformative into the community, which is a good thing. Like, we need that, So that's the only planet that's not going to be getting hit hard. The Uranus square it's been real for 10 years, and it's caused mass global depression for 10 years. Again, April 15th, we just talked about the last episode. April 15th, that's going to lighten up. But it's like, you are not alone in thinking like, can I do it? Am I going to be able to make it? And all of these feelings that I have of like, this is where I am, but this is where I want to be, and I'm not sure if I have the goods. But no, I have the, it's just like these like spikes. It's like we're on the top of the hill. Like, no, I can do it. I can conquer anything. And then it's just like, or a little ego, balloon deflates and just like, I'm worthless. I've been abandoned by my partner, abandoned by my job. I've been abandoned by my boss. I'm abandoned by God. That's real. Like, that is a serious aspect right now, being abandoned by like your spiritual higher self. And it's just like, no, you have not been abandoned. It's a transformation, and it's transforming you and me and Aaron and all of the Aarons and all of the yous in the world to be the most authentic version of yourself. And to be the most authentic version of yourself, you cannot blame everybody else. There is no victimization in this world. There's only co-creators, right? They create a product, we like it, we invest in it. That's how this works.
Well, it's interesting. You say the dreams is Neptune is the only thing that's untouched, and everything else around us is being tested.
It's favorable. It's a favorable aspect. Yeah, it's
It seems to me, in terms of all this, normal routine stuff that we think we have, we're going through, and we're kind of doing this double check all around, and really kind of relaying it to where we want to be, almost, it seems, especially for me. And it's just kind of making you look over everything and going, this is where you want to be. This is where you are.
Right. It's the reality of what is versus the idea of where we want or what we want, or the symbolism of what is to what is. And it's like, here's the funny thing about America. Like, we have a very strict law that prohibits burning a flag. It's a very serious offense to burn the flag, which is the symbol of the country. Yet the same politicians and governors that have made this have no problem, or even the president himself have no problem putting a pipeline underneath protected waters that are going to pollute it or add smog into the air, because we're not jumping on board with Elon Musk. We love these constant, it's like the electric car, and these things have been around for a long time. And it's just like this kind of forward thinking mentality is economically smart and forward thinking. So it's just like, it's fine to burn the country down, but to burn the flag is whoa. You're going to go to jail for that. So it's just like the symbolism versus the reality.
Yeah, that's a hard
That's some
one to
deep stuff. You didn't know
swallow.
you were getting into that today, did you? But it's serious. Just, it's like the symbolism versus our reality. And the reality is, and two, here's another aspect of this Jupiter being retrograde right now. It's seeing the reflection of ourselves through others. And now that it's in its retrograde cycle, we're going to be seeing a lot more of that. Like, people, don't be surprised. People are going to call you out on your bull. It's going to happen. Like, you're going to see this in somebody else and you'll be like, oh, I really dislike that quality in that person. But before you open up your mouth and tell them that, be like, oh, that's a quality that I have in myself. It's like we all manifest
Check
each other
yourself
as our greatest strengths and weaknesses, right? Like,
Three fingers back at you.
Aaron is in Aries. His Mercury and Venus and Sun is in Aries. My Mercury, Venus, and Sun is all in Capricorn, okay? They're not squaring each other like we have what we're seeing right now because they're slightly apart, but nonetheless, the qualities that we share with each other and the way that we approach the topic, we learn stuff every single time we sit down behind this desk. And it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, and I see that part of myself. And it's like an expansion. So these aren't bad things when we have these squares. It's about expansion, and it's expanding, again, to us to be our greatest versions of ourselves, our higher goods. And that's why, again, those squares are not always a bad thing. They're not a bad thing. They're a wonderful thing because we are able to expand and see parts of ourselves that maybe were kind of hidden in the shadows. In those shadows, that's...
Also want to mention, so keep that in mind. Take it easy on those around you, especially when you see something like that. And also when you see the flip side and realize it yourself, take it easy on yourself too.
Big time.
We are all human. We are all in this boat together.
That's right. You're a perfect yet ever expanding human in a perfect yet ever expanding world in a perfect yet ever expanding universe.
That's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Osho.
I love it. Speaking of, what do you think?
Little true wisdom card of the day, some positivity, how we like to end each episode. We have, no one ever said life moved in a straight line.
According to Bitcoin, it kind of goes something like
little up, little down, some ebbs and some flows. You know how it works.
Right. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen, and hit that notification button down there at the bottom of the screen so you don't miss a beat. Thanks again for joining us on
Crypto Cosm!